Hello to all the amazing people, TheNeomare here, and welcome to another episode of Limbus Company. Also, welcome to my channel. I do series of all kinds of different games. You can find them in playlists on the channel, and I think there's a little bit for everyone out there, so go and dig and find something for you and enjoy it and subscribe and all that good stuff, and well, let's get going here. So, in the last episode, we leveled up and uptied two of my new 3-star characters and started doing chapter 4, and I will be doing some more chapter 4 here, so I need to get as much of this done as fast as I can so we can start to do hard mirror dungeons as soon as possible. So yeah, it's gonna be heavily story based here, so sit back, relax and enjoy, and don't forget to like the video if you do. So yeah, let's go. The client. So yeah, some kind of abnormalities were in K-Corp's nest section, stuff like that, and yeah, we're trying to get to the bottom of it. We managed to defeat the abnormalities and got back on the bus. Who could be giving us a request? I looked out the window, pretending not to hear Ishmael's faint humming. Story time! Hopefully my throat is ready. As the futile conversations reached an end, the bus lazily pulled to a stop. We arrived in front of a building so tall that it would take a while to count the floors. A few shrank down as if intimidated. I understood Sinclair being one, but Heathcliff and Ishmael also seemed to be pressured. A few looked around with curious eyes, and some others walked and carried themselves as if they knew they deserved royal treatment. Oh, I guess we've earned some renown. We're finally being invited to places regular people would live. Let me make one thing clear. If the request and the rewards a load of tosh like the last time, I'm out. Heathcliff ground his teeth, whether by Honglu's words or due to memories of what we got into last time we were here. Samjo. K-Corp Department of Food Resource Development. Wait, isn't this the same guy as the last time? You're a little late as expected. As expected? That man is... It's a pleasure to meet you again. I want you to know that this is my heartfelt sentiment and not a formality. A familiar face I never expected to see again greeted us. I'm out. Already told you. Give it a moment, let's at least hear what he has to say, okay? Well, yeah, he's the one who gave us a Saki reward last time, I believe, right? So Heathcliff's like, no way. Let's go! Do you even get how it feels to have nightmares about doing the tango with your chickens? Huh? Oh yeah, he ended up with a chicken on top of his head, so I kind of do understand him. To tell the truth, my last request was a test to measure your competence. And you passed with flying colors. Congratulations! I mean, this one as well. Who are you to test and grade us? You... That's of course at the discretion of Mr. Samjo, my shrewd secretary. Sorry. So you must be from Limbus Company. A pleasure to meet you. I'm Dongrang. I heard a lot about you from Samjo. It almost made me a fan. Dongrang. K-Corp's Department of Food and Resource Development. Right, so you're doing experiments with food, eh? Something went wrong? Alright. Fan! Did you just say that we have earned thine adoration? Oh boy. It's just flattery, Don Quixote. If I'm being quite honest, the test wasn't my idea. I mean, you aren't lab hands or anything, and you deserve better than involuntary tests. Indeed, it was my suggestion. I had reasons to do so, as your Limbus Company is a little-known firm that could or could not be newly established. We couldn't take the risk of entrusting an unknown organization with a request on Mr. Dongrang's words alone. Ahem, so that means you're requesting us... Ishmael asked for confirmation that this was indeed a direct request, her face seeming rather proud. Why, of course, because you're all our... why don't I show you to my lab? There are many fun things to see. Changing the subject so shamelessly is only gonna bother us more. Sorry? Are you really going to take these people to your laboratory? Why not? They passed your test, didn't they, Mr. Samjo? And if they've got the skills to take down what they called an abnormality, as we saw today... Aha! Thou hast heard! My traces of heroic deeds indeed make themselves known to the masses in no time. Foo-foo! Well, I don't remember the last time I took Don Quixote into fight, so... But yeah, okay. Haha, that's a fun way to put it. Ah, and you must be the manager. It was Dante, yes? Maybe speak for a moment. Sure, why not? How are you gonna speak with me, though? We need a translator. Foss tried to say something to Dongrang, but he and Samjo pulled me far away by the time she stepped forward. Right, so I just do tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock noises, so how do they understand me? A mystery. Right, and another story application. We saw someone we never thought we would see again, but the sinners didn't seem too thrilled about the reunion. The client, who says his name is Dongrang, starts a friendly conversation. This is despite the fact that no one other than the sinners can hear what I say. Well, exactly. Maybe they can hear me. We'll see. I mean, I don't mind, but you two can't hear me anyway. I was too embarrassed to bring it up in front of the whole group, but actually one of your employees was an old friend of mine. Oh, who is it? And he wouldn't give me a nod either. Perhaps he was embarrassed like me. It was a struggle to hide how disheartened I was. So I think I already know this is his sang because 06 and 0 mentioned something about this being his chapter. Maybe you weren't as close as you thought then. Wait, can you hear my voice? Mr. Dongrang, this individual is unable to communicate normally. That's why I'm speaking, Mr. Samjo. It's like I'm back to being a child, muttering my woes to a wind-up toy, don't you think? That all was a monologue? What are you two even doing? It was mostly because of him that I decided to send my request to you. I can trust a familiar person better than a stranger. See, this is why I can't let my guard down for even a second. You're too easily influenced by human attachment. So let me ask you a favor. Use your tact and consideration to pretend that you know nothing about the relationship between him and me, okay? You haven't even told me who that friend is. I could only let out a deep sigh and shake my head. The conversation that never got through ended as arbitrarily as it began. This isn't asking a favor, you're giving me a notice. We are at the laboratories, Isle, or the visitors would not be permitted to go any further. But since you've been invited by Mr. Dongrang, I will show you to the interior. Whoa, I hoped I could work at a company as big as this. Then maybe you could have applied to one. Why didn't you give it a shot? You're joking, right, Roger? Not everyone can join these companies. This kind of firm only accepts the very best of the elite. Like Faust or Yisang, for example. Yes, Yisang, for example. Ishmael's remark gave me a good opportunity to bring up my earlier question. Yeah, why did you choose to join Limbus company out of all the options you had? There must have been better places to shoot for. Because I am Faust. There was a certain energy in her confidently clarifying tone that discouraged me from asking another question. What about you, Yesang? Let me take the trouble of asking in return. Manager, why did you join the company you work for? Well, I don't even remember. I mean, that's because I had no other choice. That should sufficiently answer your question. Oh, because you had no other choice. Oh boy. Right. It looks like Ishmael wasn't exaggerating about the qualifications it takes to join this firm. The laboratory was dominated by a stillness that could only be achieved with everyone in total focus. Dante, look, there, you see that? The fridge is full of snacks. We could take one, or 10, and then they wouldn't notice. I think that's a really bad idea, Rojun. And we would break the stillness with nonchalance. Take as many as you'd like, Mr. Samjo. Pack some snacks for the break room into small bundles to give them later. Understood. That's awesome. Ishi, maybe we should quit our job and join up here. Everyone can hear you, Rodia. Rodion, the work contract says. Joking, Foss, joking, see? Let's move on to the request. They're bringing outsiders into the building now. What are you, a field trip guide, Dong Rank? Pardon me for a moment. This is Shreen. She's the manager of the department next to mine and a colleague who joined the company at the same time as I did. Visiting me to hurl hurtful words takes up much of her daily routine. I figured someone got to point out the massive drain on our company's welfare budget that is your team. If you're wondering about how we spend our welfare budget, you'll see when the Department of the Year trophy is awarded. Right, Samjo? I would take a full day to list the benefits the department chosen as the best it receives. You're snobs, both of you. Is that a rival? I do suppose excellence is followed by envy wherever it is. Well, yeah, I guess it is. Envy fuels advancement, as they say, so it's only right for us to show little generosity for those following behind. Should we give some of the pies we bought from that store to Shrin's department, Mr. Samjo? I was planning to do so. The pepper, chill lettuce, and curry flavored ones too. Gasp, that also sounds tasty. Now then, let's get back to the main topic. I heard the rumors. They were about a newly formed company collecting organic objects called golden bows. And those golden bows are found exclusively inside the closed-down branch facilities of Lobotomy Corp. How did you learn about the existence of golden bows? It was a recent discovery. We'd been using a Lobotomy Corp's branch in your research facility as a lab until a few months ago. You set up a lab in that horrible place. But I thought they were all buried underground. Well, I guess there were rare resources and documents they could use. Did the scope of your research include abnormalities? Why, certainly. No researcher could overlook such intriguing subjects. Researchers must be all soft in the head if that's what they were interested in. Hold on. When you were mumbling rubbish and tossing a rock at one of them chicken heads, did you... I will say Heathcliff's unexpected feats of insight surprise me sometimes. You led us into dealing with a distortion in a coincidental encounter so that you could gather data for research on abnormalities. Mr. Samjo here is no good at acting. I suppose it's due to his upright way of life. Please understand, we had no means to clearly distinguish a distortion from an abnormality. A person distortion when the mind crumbles to figurative pieces, was it? That was a stellar figure of speech. Did you restore his crumbled mind back to health then? There is no way to piece together someone else's broken mind. We merely showed him the way. It was the choice of the restaurant's owner whether to stay there or take that path. Wow, you know so much. If I were just a bit younger, I'd have jumped and hoped trying to high-five you. Alright. You're always unwelcome to try. Mr. Dongrang, you're becoming sidetracked again. You're right. Alright then. One day, while we happily indulged in the research at the laboratory of the Lobotomy Corp branch facility, armed terrorists attacked the place. It was all too sudden. Have you ever seen a bomb set off before your eyes? It's quite a spectacle. It all starts and ends in a split second. Just like the universe, isn't it? Where are the terrorists now? The members have almost nothing in common, and their motive is unknown. They only showed up recently. In the end, the terrorist organization took over the laboratory Mr. Dongrang's team had stayed in. Okay, so I guess we had to clear it out, kill the terrorists. Is that it? That must be when the lab was moved. How severe was the damage? Dongrang turned his gaze from Yisang to the sporadically unoccupied seats. You see, those empty seats? They'll stay that way for a while. Their owners died in that act of terror. Looking closely, I saw snacks and flowers placed in their cushions, probably as a way to mourn the dead. This fellow we only managed to recover a finger from. We couldn't find the right place to put it, so we've been keeping it in storage. It should be over at the display on the second floor. A solemn silence filled the office, but Dongrang continued, brushing the empty desk with his hand. There is much we had to leave behind. Dongrang. I especially miss the plague modeled after the face of my character. That was a favorite souvenir of mine. I'll be stumped. I can't tell how much of what he says is a joke and how much of it is serious. What about that seat then? Our attention was brought to a white desk that was completely empty. Ah, that one is reserved. We are waiting for a new employee to take that seat. Oh, is there an application guideline for the opposition then? Where can I see it? Well, she seems very eager to join them if she would have the opportunity though, isn't that right? Ishmael's bright-eyed inquisition was interrupted by Samjo's displeased utterance. Oh dear, Mr. Samjo is feeling all uncomfortable now. Shall we actually get to the point then, Samjo? Let me be blunt. I suggest an accord that will benefit both parties. If you help us retake the laboratory, we'll yield the ownership of the golden balls we found to you. Oh, that sounds pretty good. I have a question. Is this a fixed contract or post-fulfillment review contract? Will it be represented by delegate bodies or co-executive members? Allow me to answer that. This will be an immediate delegate body represented contract with no warranty liability. A contractual signing overseen by an observer from a Grade 1 contract office will take place following due process. A contract office? I don't know what's going on. Does it really have to be so complicated? In J-Corp's district, we couldn't get the golden boost right away, despite winning because we didn't have anyone overseeing the deal. Oh, that's Ayuda from Mary Arkels? She started a fight even after Roja won the game. It's Ada from Los Mariachis. That's right, instead of playing the role of the observer, she left us with no choice but to take the balls with force. Which is why it is safer to use the service of an association or contract office to stand as an observer, or to notarize the contract even if it can be costly. That's what Foss probably considered most carefully, I think. Ishmael explained like it was common knowledge. I guess it's something well known among city folks. This contract certainly favors our side. As long as this goal is achieved. Okay. We watched with our mouths agape as the two declared the conclusion at once. This is a secret, but I frankly don't get more than half of what Samjo says. I just nod like, oh, I see, and move on. Isn't that a coincidence? It's the same for us too. Aren't you supposed to be the last person to be ignorant of your secretary's words? Aha, still I guess making a contract with K-Corp's laboratory means we won't be fighting against the Wing's staff for a while. You know, those people who would keep healing their wounds? Yes, I do remember those. The team fell into a somber silence. All the memories related to them were filled with misery and suffering. Ah, so you've seen K-Corp's regenerative technology already. Ah, we've more than seen it. Had to deal with it over and over. I get sick of the dot. Ah, why don't I show you around my lab instead then? It's not here though. You'll have to take the elevator once more. Yeah, but you should show them that much, Mr. Dongrang. That place is off limits for unauthorized personnel. Ha, you just made a really funny noise, Mr. Samjo. Well, it shouldn't hurt. You're hanging out a bit to celebrate the provisional contract being signed. I wasn't sure if that was an appropriate way to celebrate things, but since no one on the team objected, I decided to follow him. Okay. So, a new job, some new bots for us, hopefully, but many fights to go through and much story to be told, apparently. Regeneration ampoules, so is this technology being made here? Can I have some? After boasting about K-Corp's regeneration technology, Dongrang invited us to his lab. Disregarding Samjo's visible shock, we followed Dongrang into his workplace. This is where regenerative ampoules are made. They are publicly called HP bullets, but the underlying principle is a nanobot-based medical treatment. There have been struggles here and there, but at the moment the ampoule I slightly modified recently is the most common used version. So let me get this straight. You're the one who supplied that? Damn it, do you have any idea how much that made us suffer? We barely managed to crawl over that adversary. I'm relieved that none of you seem to have passed away or suffered severe wounds, at the very least. Well, I'm sure the game considers it canon that they did and that they got revived by me over and over again. Ah, that reminds me, I was told companies that have different definitions of that on the job and the processes of dealing with them. I'm sure Mr. Samjo gave me an explanation on it. So, Dongrang, are you continuing your research on improving those cure-all nanobots? Haha, of course not. HP bullets have long been commercialized. My project right now is the improvement of livestock using them. Improving livestock? Does that have to do something with that bull we fought? Maybe not. If cutting as a concept is reduced to irrelevance, if it becomes limited for a fleeting moment, think about it. We can get an endless supply of high quality meat. Oh, do I hear chickens? And it's not just any meat. The flesh will come from livestock researched and improved with the combined efforts of countless minds. That's the quality and rarity we're talking about. It seems Dongrang has a love for meat as deep as Roja's. Love, you say. You might be right. It endlessly devoting time and care could be called love. I guess snobby bunches get along well, eh? Don't beat up our client, okay, Heathcliff? Depends on how they behave. We see live chickens whose wings and legs are being sliced endlessly. They don't even struggle, as if they feel no pain. Is that how these nanobots look? All I see is liquid. When infinitesimal particles have fluidity, they will look pretty much the same as fluid. Okay, is it really necessary to go this far for food? This slide is too disgusting to handle for a rich boy who grew up on a juicy meat, eh? Kiddo, there are lots of people in the world who'd go any length for a meal. No, I mean, this isn't the same. And my family wouldn't eat any meat. I was an exception, though. Why does it have to be like this? What am I trying to say is... I think I know what you're getting at. It does feel rather unnatural, doesn't it? If it was simply for the sake of improving food, there could have been more efficient ways to do it. There's only one thing I can say for sure. If this technology had more made available in the back streets, my friends and I wouldn't have had to rummage through trash cans. Technology. No, this is no more than breeding. They will never realize they have the ability to fly for their entire lives. Isang spoke, staring directly into Dongrang. It was unusual of him to take this much interest in matters. Well, I must object. Chickens cannot fly in the first place, and this technology is providing quality welfare to many. It's okay, Samjo. For someone who usually wouldn't look others in the eye to glare directly at a person, that's a sign of desperation, isn't it? The husbandry. Something seems to have happened to the lab. Will it be a good choice to head there now? It will be fine, Samjo. They're skilled enough that they got out of scuffle with K-Corp security staff armed with our regeneration ampoules without a scratch. Right, well, fighting time. As much as I enjoy a good story, I look forward to some fighting. Terrorist organization. Intruders broke into the lab. Samjo called them terrorists, but they rejected the notion and instead introduced themselves as the Technology Liberation Alliance. Whatever they are, we have to fight them to survive the attack and proceed with the request. Right, let's go. I'll probably keep fighting with... I guess I could take, like, let's see. What do we have here? Level 28. R-Corp 4th Pack Reindeer. Alright. So level 28 Ishmael here. Yeah, let's try her out. From our good friend. Mysterious stranger who has added us. Well, maybe this one is not for him from him though, right? I'm just assuming it would be, but I have multiple friends now, so everything's possible, I guess. An explosion has been detected. Please protect yourself from danger by swiftly moving under your desks. Intimidating machine. Whoops, that was a misfire. A second explosion has been detected. Please activate the regeneration ampoule in your possession and please wait for K-Corp security staff that will arrive within 18 seconds of some old announcement. I wonder why are broadcasts like that told in such calm voices. Won't a little gasping and panicking be more effective in getting people to evacuate? See, getting so preoccupied with all the technology and science nonsense dulls your empathy with feelings. You talk too much. Be quiet. Is everyone alright? If you aren't, take a regeneration sample. A cross-compatibility test is normally needed, but we are in an emergency. You look unfazed. Doesn't a terrorist attack usually throw everyone into chaos? The first attack did have everyone panicking. The explosive detection broadcast didn't exist either. Mr. Samjo hid under his desk for quite some time. As I keep saying, the attack occurred in the lobby and I was merely attempting to pick up a notebook that fell under the desk. You must take this situation seriously, Mr. Dongrang. An attack on a K-Corp laboratory in the middle of the nest is not a matter of course. For sure they managed to arrive at the floor where the researchers are. Oh, I think I sprained my left ankle, Samjo. I watched the Samjo injected a regeneration ampoule into Dongrang's body. Aren't they the terrorists that are occupying the Lobotomy Corp branch? Indeed. Speak of the devil. They're part of the terrorist organization. They don't really look like well-trained combatants. Would you look at that? You got an eye for that now, kid? It's natural. They aren't the ones directly engaging in combat. It should take a single glance to notice that they appear lean and frail just like Mr. Dongrang. I've seen rich souls that don't get into fights to get body-enhancing augments that just in case. You sure they aren't just acting weak? It is not necessarily the case. As varied as ways to augment the body are, some may be repulsed by it, physically or mentally. Some nests even forbid their residents from getting procedures above a certain level of power if they aren't qualified. They don't want the lowly to rise up and topple the ruling class over, huh? It couldn't deny those possibilities. Each nest must have its own reasons. But fundamentally speaking, augmenting procedures are like high-performing vehicles. If an unqualified driver were to try and handle a vehicle with a power output above what they can handle, layers of order in the nest would fall apart in no time. So they'd like to prevent that from happening. Sorry to interrupt your passionate exposition. The pain was genuine for me, just so you know. Soon enough, people wearing familiar outfits appeared, along with the unforgettable beats of footsteps. They're the ones from the checkpoint, and now they're our reliable allies. Those robots, they look seriously hostile. Hemorrhage within 5 seconds, spinal damage of at least 12 centimeters in length, direct impact on coronary artery, destruction of the cranium. These steps will ensure that the enemy meets immediate death without unnecessary suffering. It can do that, but wasn't mainly to fully destroy the brain so they can't regenerate themselves? Hey, if you don't mind, could you pretend to be that if this doesn't kill you right away? My body stayed up all night upgrading the insta-kill function. Quiet. See, I told you, with that recoil distance, it only reaches as deep as the occipital lobe. Did you really have it learned through trial? Damn it, it should have gone all the way through the temporal lobe. We can't lose to them. We have robots of our own. They should be here as minute now. Aha! There it is, the regeneration ampoule administration drone. It must be pretty handy to have them. Do they inject the ampoules right as the staff is injured? Yes, as long as their heads aren't lost. And our ampoule is injected before the golden time passes and their brain stops functioning. They're practically undying. Injuries like holes in internal organs. Our broken bones can be healed in seconds. Even still, they wouldn't be immune to pain. How can they be so calm about it? They won't even bat an eye at a colleague right next to them being cut down. Natural behavior. If all wounds can be healed up in seconds, all judgment regarding it will be secondary. If that's the case, will we become like that eventually? I don't see a reason to think about such things. It was just curious. By the way, who are these new faces with unfamiliar outfits? Anyone wanna introduce yourselves? None of our business. True, but it's kinda awkward to be just facing them. Someone's gotta talk, no? Why should we introduce ourselves to a terrorist organization? We're no mere terrorist organization. Watch your words. I don't hate the sound of it. It lines up with my beliefs when I was 4. I had to answer the call of a grad school because the paper I wrote on atoms won a prize at the age of 11. Shut it. We are the Technology Liberation Alliance. Liberate what technologies exactly? Does technology yearn from freedom? Maybe. They're talking about the animals in the lab, I think. You hear that? He thinks we're animal protectors or something. Sorry, but that went out of fashion long ago. You think we're working day and night assembling machines just to fight for happily raised chickens fried in healthy oil? Type X32 bolts are so hard to get these days. We have to order them from other nests. Do you have any idea how much tax is added? You can substitute type X32 bolts by casting a C9 bolt and tempering it at an interval of 2 hours. You aren't gonna win us over by acting all smart. Oh, no, she might be right. It could work. Could you tell us why you're offering advice to enemies, Mrs. Fost? You wouldn't understand. Researchers have a creed more valuable than life. Right. So we fight their drones now? Is that it? I think so. Yep. Ooh, they look nasty, dude. Crude wrecking ball bot. On hit, inflict 2 attack power down next turn. Has hit. Burst tremor. Okay, so they have an attack which causes tremor, and they have an attack which bursts tremor. An attack that skill that bursts tremor raises the stagger threshold by the effect's potency. At the end of the turn, reduces its count by 1. Okay. Sanity fixes 0. Oh, mechanical mentality, so they cannot be hurt by sanity attacks, sanity reducing attacks. This unity's stagger threshold rises by 50% more from tremor bursts. Okay, so these things can like very easily stagger us then. What are these? Cutting up. On hit, inflict 3 rupture. When hit by an attack, take fixed damage by the effect's potency, then reduce its count by 1. Oh, okay, so we get like more fragile in a way. Seems like these are more dangerous because of the whole tremor thing. That really worries me. However, if you can get some nice attacks here, dominating, favorite, let's say this is good enough. Okay, one of them is already staggered. Oh, wait, this is not a normality fight anyway, so whatever. It should be easy. Easy win here. Easy fight, easy life, it seems like. I did get stuck on a fight once and I had to like remake my team, level up people and stuff to actually do it, but that's been a while ago. It was actually against the regenerative bullets squad that are fighting on our side now. Get them, Faust, get them. Destroy them, robots. Destroy technology. There you go, I'm gonna get another wave here. Oh, nice. Well, we have a lot of dice now, or whatever the game calls here. It used to be called dice in Library of Ruina, but here they are, I don't know, abilities. But yeah, in these fights, non-abnormality fights, you get 1 extra attack each turn. So yeah, you end up with a lot of extra attacks by the time you get to turn 10, so... Which makes these fights usually very easy. But like I already said, we had... oh wait, did he attack 2 enemies at once there? Or am I just imagining things? I think I'm imagining things. That was a AoE attack, wasn't it? I'm being crazy. Oh. We'll, like, pay attention a little bit more in the future. Why does Ishmael have horns? Oh yeah, it's the reindeer thing we borrowed from our friend. Right. Let's see how we did. Towards the purest world. Okay, well, he's doing decent. Everyone else did like not so great though. Alright. Okay. Cool. So terrorist organization 2. So yeah, gonna make a cut here. Next episode we're gonna do a whole bunch of fighting apparently. So we are up to 411. Well, 54 doesn't seem so far anymore any longer. So yeah, hopefully we can get there. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. I wish you all to have a wonderful day. Do something nice, be kind to each other, and let's make the world a better place together. Thank you all for watching, and see you in the next episode of Limbus Company. TheNeomare signing out. Bye bye.